Tides of Annihilation is one of my most anticipated games of 2025 and beyond. First announced at last month's State of Play, this highly anticipated action game literally puts the power of the Knights of the Round Table at your fingertips, and I'm really excited to play it when it drops. But when will it actually launch? Could it potentially win Game of the Year or even Best Action Game? And could it be the start of a new era for the action game genre? How's it going, guys? Mike here, and today we're going to talk about Tides of Annihilation, a brand new action-adventure game from Eclipse Glow Studios. But before we get into that, if you're new to my channel, make sure you hit the subscribe button and tap the bell icon so you never miss a video. Now, for starters, when I first saw this trailer, I legit thought it was something related to Expedition 33. But as I watched, I realized this was not the case. Tides of Annihilation is set in post-apocalyptic London and has you stepping into the shoes of Gwendolyn, a young woman with the power to command the Knights of the Round Table who's caught in the middle of an invasion from another realm. Driven by a quest for vengeance and seeking to save her sister from mysterious otherworldly invaders, Gwendolyn must harness the power of the Knights of the Round Table and embark on an adventure across two worlds to put a stop to this invasion. The game is heavily inspired by Arthurian legend, hence the inclusion of the Knights of the Round Table. This also means that we could potentially see other characters from Arthurian mythology like Nimue, the Lady of the Lake, and Morgan Le Fay, both of whom have extremely prominent roles in Arthurian mythology. Heck, I wouldn't be surprised if we saw the legendary sword Excalibur in this. I mean, it's one of the central pieces to Arthurian lore. But the lore isn't the only cool thing about this game. The game's combat looks amazing, the graphics look gorgeous, and the UI is somewhat reminiscent of Final Fantasy XVI the way it's structured. Also, we have to talk about this world traversal. It literally looks like something straight out of Inception, the way the environments move around, and it adds a whole new level of challenge to the game. You've also got to love the enemy variety. I mean, we've got mysterious warriors, fire-breathing dragons, and a giant whale monster soaring over Britannica. By the way, for some reason, I get serious Stellar Blade vibes looking at this game, and I think it's because one of the biggest things Tides of Annihilation has in common with Stellar Blade is that it's kind of a reinvention of the action game formula. But compared to Stellar Blade, Tides of Annihilation doesn't focus on sex appeal nearly as much. As a matter of fact, it manages to balance out the protagonist's looks with some amazing combat gameplay, a very captivating story, which I think is going to be awesome, and some impressive world traversal with some unique obstacles you have to overcome in order to achieve your goals. I feel like we're going to see a lot more of this going forward with action games, and I'm all for it because it just shows how far people are trying to push the boundaries of the action game genre. Also, Gwendolyn has an amazing voice actress in the form of Jennifer English. You probably know her from games like Baldur's Gate 3, Divinity Original Sin 2, and Elden Ring, and she's also voicing Mael in the upcoming Clair Obscur Expedition 33, which I mentioned before. Also, we've got to talk about Mordred, the mysterious antagonist of Tides of Annihilation. She's being voiced by Aliona Baranova, and the first thing I thought of when I heard the name Mordred is the DC villain of the same name from Justice League Unlimited. I mean, I'm sure a lot of us were thinking it, especially if we grew up watching that show. But Mordred actually has a huge role in Arthurian legend as King Arthur's illegitimate son. He's best known for betraying Arthur and for launching a fight that basically leads to Arthur's death. But in Tides of Annihilation, Mordred is a girl and seems to be both a powerful swordswoman and an extremely strong spellcaster who can use a wide array of different magics. Plus, her claiming to have the power of Pendragon could spell bad news for Gwendolyn the way she fights. But either way, I'm curious to see how the chemistry between these two will play out during the game's launch. Now, in terms of the devs making this game, this is actually Eclipse Glow's first game. For starters, Eclipse Glow is made up of 100 employees and is based in Chengdu, China, with a lot of investment from Tencent. However, there are quite a few veterans on this studio with previous experience on games like Yakuza, For Honor, Assassin's Creed, Prince of Persia, and Persona. This seems like a similar case to Expedition 33 devs Sandfall Interactive, which has a lot of former Ubisoft employees. This seems like a growing trend in 2025, where you have a lot of new studios that are creating these ambitious ambitious new games, but yet the talent is coming from bigger publishers like Rockstar and CDPR. Prime examples of these are games like Mind's Eye and The Blood of Dawnwalker, which are being headed up by former heads of the studios I just mentioned. And they're obviously getting some money behind them because these games look absolutely incredible, which is a trend that I hope Tides of Annihilation continues to follow, especially with all the talent it has behind it. Either way, I think Tides of Annihilation has a shot at winning Best Action Game or even Game of the Year, so long as Eclipse Glow plays their cards right and doesn't rush the game. It looks incredible, and I hope they also have the chance to market it, because that's really going to play into sales. Now, in terms of when it'll actually launch, I would foresee it launching in 2026 at the earliest, but who knows? We could be surprised with a fall 2025 launch. Either way, I can't wait to get my hands on it when it launches, and I'm hoping to do some more content in the future on it, so stay tuned. But I want to hear your thoughts. What's been your favorite element of Tides of Annihilation so far? When do you think the game's gonna launch? Let me know in the comments section below, and be sure to subscribe, give a thumbs up, and tap the bell icon so you're up to date with all the latest gaming news and reviews. But until then, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care.